It was a great day today. Had a lot of former players back, which was a lot of fun last night, and they came back today for the spring game. It's always neat to see the former players come back. This is why we do it, is for those guys. And I thought our guys, especially our young guys, had a nice day out there. Ty and Damaris and James Hendricks with the big pick, and our offensive line I thought did some really good things with some young guys up front, and a couple things jump out. Cole Karch does a nice job against a really good veteran offensive line, pushing the pocket, getting a sack, and so we'll evaluate the film on Monday, but really pleased, and I think we came out of it healthy, which is the most important thing heading into the summer. So open up for questions.
Recap the entire spring, Chris. Just what got done, maybe what didn't get done, how would you characterize it?
Well, the thing that we went into spring talking about was competing every day, finding more depth, and making sure that our twos, so to speak, or our backups could help us win more games if we got into a tight scenario with injuries, so have it. And I think we improved quite a bit with our second group and feel really good about the depth at certain positions. I still think there's some question marks in depth in certain areas, but I'm really pleased with the linebacker depth, the D-line depth, really pleased with the O-line depth, even though we still have some question marks on who's going to start. Tight end, running back depth, I think we improved. So overall, it was what we wanted to get accomplished as coaches, and now it's kind of up to the guys and making sure that they attack the summer workouts and make sure they're ready to go for fall camp.
Did Ty give you something to think about, Chris?
Well, he's done this all spring now. I mean, that wasn't just a one-time deal. He's done it all spring. But little things. I so appreciate Ty's effort and stuff, but you can't turn the ball over when he's going into the end zone. I mean, that's something that, whether he'll be in those situations, I don't know, but he's an electric player, but he has to hang on to the football, and Ty knows that. But I love the way the kid competes. He's an extremely competitive guy. He's got that extra gear and that extra juice, and somebody that will be a factor in the fall.
Hendricks' move to safety, that's a spot I know you know well, and then how he played this entire spring. What did you take of that?
He picked the game up and picked up our scheme on defense really quickly, which is not easy to do, but that's the quarterback in him. That's the growing up in a football background with his dad being a coach in the kid as well. I thought he did a tremendous job throughout the spring in feeling more comfortable each day. It's going to give us more options, I think, in the fall, whether it's him rotating in a little bit, giving us some depth there if we do get nicked up with Robbie and Trey, who are really good football players. It may give us the opportunity to move Robbie down to that nickel spot a little bit. It's something that we've worked in practice. We'll see how everything pans out in the fall, but I was really pleased with his progress.
We talked about being able to redshirt that freshman class, the whole group of them. How much did they grow in particular this spring?
Yeah, that was really key for us to be able to redshirt all those guys, and it gave them a full off season with Coach Kramer. Even into September, October, all the way into January and February, and it really helped on their offensive line. Dylan Radens, Cordell Volson, a couple of guys that came in at maybe 260 or closer to 290 and 300, and Jabril Cox put on 15 pounds on him. A lot of guys like that were able to learn and not have to play, learn how to do things, and that was the biggest thing. And I talked to all those guys yesterday, was those guys getting comfortable and what the expectations were at practice, what the expectations were on how to compete in the weight room and how to compete on the field. And I was really impressed with our freshman class. Now, how much they'll be able to help us, we expect a big leap from those guys from what they knew last fall, which was nothing, to June, July, August. Now we have higher expectations for them.
Are you a better football team now than you were at this point last year, Chris, in your opinion? I mean, I know it's hard.
It's really hard to tell. I mean, that's a tough thing. We lost some great seniors that were really versatile guys, so time will tell.
I know it was waived off of the penalty, but is that a glimpse of what you hope Engel can do?
You bet. And it's not the first time he's done that this spring. He's done that on several occasions, and those are the things and maybe that's going to be his niche. We'll find out how much he can help us in the middle of the field and downfield and stuff. Obviously RJ and Shep weren't out there today, so but absolutely that's something that is tough for a defense. Are you going to double that guy and take somebody out of the run game, or are you going to see if you can play man-to-man? But his confidence is growing, and that's something that I'm really happy with Sean. He's had a a long spring because we don't have a lot of wideouts, so he's out there every play. It'll help him in the fall when we have more wideouts. He can stay a little bit more fresh, but I think he's excited about his future.
Anything surprise you today?
No, not really. We had a lot of good scenarios. I was really pleased. Little things. I was pleased the way Cam Peterson kicked the ball, and I know we're not coming at him live and stuff like that, but his second now going into his full second year, his leg strength is better. The workouts with Coach Kramer have really helped him. Same thing, I think, with Jackson Kuntz. Consistency for Jackson's the thing that we need to focus on with him. But I think everybody saw much more potential out of Jackson today, turning more balls over, and that's something that we need to. And I visited with him. We need to, even though we were so good with our punt coverage and stuff, we need to average another 8-10 yards on punt. And he's taken a lot of a lot of pride in saying, "You're right, Coach. We have to punt the ball better," and I thought he did a better job today.
At the end of the day, is there one position group you really thought made a big leap from the middle of March to today?
I'd still go back to the trenches, the O-line, D-line, in the fact of I think we have so much more depth in the defensive line now with Cole Karch being in there, to Quinn Allo and Beegler, to Blake and Grant and I mean, there's a lot of depth there, as well as our defensive ends with the Tuskas and Stanley and Caleb Butler. I think that's a great area for us as far as depth. And then the offensive line, even though, like we said, I know Kunert's going to be a guy. I know Colin Connor's going to be a guy. But I think we have maybe up to 8 guys, maybe even 9 guys fighting for those other 3 jobs. And that's what you want going into fall camp, is that competition on a daily basis where Coach Riley may be able to put one guy in and then the next day put the other guy in to see who can win that battle. But I feel like we're deeper in the offensive line now than we were last year at this time.
Any linemen going to score touchdowns for you this year?
I know that was kind of fun to see CC. Now, he said if it were a live deal, he'd have scored, but I'm glad it wasn't live. I didn't need to see him get cut down, but that was fun. We couldn't get that one done in the championship game with Joe, but that was probably Carson's fault.
You guys brought in Will Compton this week. How valuable is it to have guys like him to continue? I know you've had some of your own former players as well, but how important, what do you see in the value of bringing guys like that in to talk to your players?
Oh, it's so valuable. We're always, as coaches, looking for other ways to motivate our guys, looking for other people to give them advice. And he visited with our team last night and then visited with our defense today. And it's so fun hearing what our message is as coaches, and Will really kind of relaying the same message in a different way. And so I know he connected with so many of our guys because he's playing at this high level right now as a captain and a linebacker for the Washington Redskins. And so I think it kind of solidifies that some of the things that we're doing are doing it the right way, and our guys now believe that, and they always have believed it, but now you hear it from a guy that's an NFL great linebacker, and it's fun to have those guys come in. I'm always trying to find new ways to learn, new ways to motivate our guys, and this was a special weekend to have both he and Ben in.
Walk through just the next couple months, Chris. I mean, install pretty much in. What kind of happens now for the next?
Well, it'd be nice if it were just break time, but we hit the road starting on Monday as coaches for our big evaluation time for our 2018 class, and then as coaches, then we come back into June and evaluate those guys, and then get into our camps, and then a little bit of a break time, and then it'll be July 30th before we know it. Our players, Kramer gets them right away on Monday for a couple of weeks, and then they have finals, and then they'll get a break to go home, and then they'll be back on Memorial Day or around then, and get into the summer. So it's, as everybody knows, off seasons in college football are shorter and shorter, and I know that's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. So cherish the time that you have away from the game a little bit, but always have it on the back of your mind, because I think we have special things in store for this year.